नमस्कार. तुम्हा सर्वांना महाराष्ट्र दिनाच्या खूप खूप शुभेच्छा. तुम्ही स्क्रीनवर बघतच असाल आपलं महाराष्ट्र गीत. राकट देशा, कणखर देशा, दगडांच्या देशा, नाजूक देशा, कोमल देशा, फुलांच्याही देशा. अंजन कांचन करवंदीच्या काटेरी देशा, बकुल फुलांच्या प्राजक्तीच्या दळदारी देशा. Now, wherever I read these lines, I always feel that isn't it that Govindagraj actually was a geographer and knew the geography of the state so well? Really, I feel so. This entire Maharashtra Geet talks about the physical and human geography of this state. And today we are here to celebrate the Maharashtra Day. So let us get ourselves very briefly introduced to the geography of our state. Before I start, it is my moral duty to inform the kind of sources that I have used. The presentation contains mainly maps and images, and most of them have been taken from Vidyadhar Amrute sir's very famous and wonderful atlas in Marathi, Mulancha Chitramay Maharashtra, or Children's Atlas of Maharashtra. Then from a very popular book, The Mega State Maharashtra by A.B. Saudi, and also from Maharashtra State Gazetteer titled Maharashtra Land and Its People. I obviously also referred to C.D. Deshpande sir's book on geography of Maharashtra, and most of the images that have been taken from the web are with the Creative Commons licenses, and the images of all those photographs have been given therein. Wherever not possible, images also have been taken from other web sources, and there also the link of every photograph has been given. And all these things are used for a very non-commercial educational purposes only, because we are just in the mood of celebrating Maharashtra today. And I'm putting myself, I just want to celebrate the very geography of Maharashtra, the geographical diversity of this state. All of us know that Maharashtra is located in Western India, and it is mainly situated along the Arabian Sea, main to its west. Its latitude and longitude is mainly 16 degree 40 minutes to 22 degree 10 minutes north latitude, and 72 degrees 6 minutes to 80 degree 9 minutes east latitude. It has an area-wise, Maharashtra is the third largest state in India, while population-wise, as per 2011 census, it is the second largest or the second most populous state in our country. Maharashtra very much evolved out of the Bombay state on this day, that is 1st of May in the year 1960. Mumbai is a state capital of Maharashtra, though we know that during winters, the Nagpur becomes the winter capital. Maharashtra is bordered by Gujarat to the northwest, Madhya Pradesh to the north, Chhattisgarh to the east, while Telangana to the southeast, Karnataka to the south, and Goa to the southwest. There are total 36 districts and 358 tehsils of this state. Administratively, Maharashtra is divided into 6 important divisions. And just understanding of this division itself will get us a better understanding of the administrative units of Maharashtra. Let us start with the Konkan region. The Konkan region has districts of Palghar, Thane, Mumbai suburban and Mumbai city. Please note, these are districts, though we know it as a city, but Mumbai suburban and Mumbai city are districts. Raigad, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, so these are the districts from the Konkan division. In the Nashik division, we have districts of Nandurbar, Dhule, Jalgaon, Nashik, and Ahmednagar. Then in Pune division, we have Pune, obviously, then Satara, Kolhapur, Sangli, and Solapur. Then in Aurangabad division, we have Aurangabad, Jalna, Parbhani, Hingoli, Nanded, Beed, Latur, Usmanabad. And in Amravati division, we have Buldhana, Akola, Washim, Yavatmal, and obviously Amravati. Then in the Vidarbha, as we call it, or Nashik, or sorry, as Nagpur division, we have Wardha, Nagpur, Gondia, Bhandara, Chandrapur, Gadchiroli. So these are administrative divisions mainly of this state. Though it has got a different kind of nomenclature, some of these we will refer to. For example, there is nomenclature called as Khandesh or Vidarbha, Marathwada. So this is also nomenclature. So when we talk about Khandesh, we mainly include Nandurbar, Dhule, and Nashik and Jalgaon. When we talk about Paschim Maharashtra or Western Maharashtra, it's mainly included the part of the Pune division and also, I mean, Ahmednagar. When we talk of Marathwada, again, we have this Aurangabad division predominantly. And then we talk about Vidarbha, we are mainly including the Amravati and the Nagpur administrative divisions in it. So these are the another way in which on the regional nomenclature one can classify Maharashtra into different states. Let us see the geographical features now of the state of Maharashtra. Geologically, Maharashtra, as the map very clearly shows, is very dominated by the Deccan Trap lava forms. Though we also have laterites, especially to the in the Konkan region, while we also have the metamorphic rocks to the easternmost Vidarbha. While wherever there are rivers, we also find deeper to shallow alluvium formation, while we also find some sedimentation in the to the again in the Vidarbha region. While along the coast we have a coastal alluvium belt. So predominantly it's a Deccan Trap. It's a lava topography. It's very hard rock, and that is why that those lines coming from Rakata Desha, Kanakhar Desha, Dagdancha Desha, that perfectly actually exhibits the geology of this particular state. Now, out of this geology, climatic conditions, and the work of rivers, lot of soils have been, different variety of soils have been created. Predominantly, the black Ragur soil occupies a very large portion of the state because it's the soil that has developed from the igneous rock of the Deccan Trap. Then we have the reddish soils or the laterite soils, a perfect product of extreme leaching that takes place due to very heavy rainfall, especially in the South Konkan region. Then we have coastal alluvium in the coastal areas. We have an alluvial soil along the rivers, and we also have this yellowish soil to the eastern part of Maharashtra, or Vidarbha as we can call it. Topographically, again, Maharashtra is not at all a plain region. As you can see this 3D map, Maharashtra can clearly be divided into three physiographic regions. One is Konkan, then the Sahyadri itself, and then the plateau region, or popularly called as Desh region. Okay, and the Sahyadri, once we immediately to the east of the Sahyadri, there is a very narrow belt of the sloping land which is called as Mawar in Marathi, and then the rest of the plateau begins, that contains many major to minor hill ranges, many plateaus, and obviously so many river basins. So it's a very geographically very diverse land, landform wise, geomorphologically, obviously geologically, and it's a perfect region to talk about the geographical diversity. Now this is a cross section of the state I mean the cross section of Maharashtra region, where you can see you can see to the left hand side we have the Arabian Sea, to the right hand side we have the Bay of Bengal, and in between one can see this elevation of the Western Ghats. Now if you see this particular cross section, you will find that if you stand in Konkan, this is the place of Konkan, this is Arabian Sea. If you stand at Konkan and then if you look at the Western Ghats or the Sahyadri, it will just look like a absolute scarp, and that is where one can see Sahyadri as a mountain. But you come on the other side, and if you stand on the Deccan Plateau itself and then look at Sahyadris, then you will find it just a hill range. Okay, because Western Ghat is basically a scarp, right? And as we cross the Western Ghat and come to the plateau, then you find that it is very gently descending plateau. So the higher elevations are found obviously in the Sahyadris, while towards the east we find that the plateau descends gradually, and that's the reason why so many rivers that originate in Western Ghat flow towards the east and meet the Bay of Bengal, while there are also prominent rivers that flow on the other side and meet the Arabian Sea. But obviously, as you can see, these are very short rivers as compared to those which flow over the plateau, which are very longer ones. Now, this particular topography has a lot of bearing on the climate of the state as well, because we are on one hand we have the Arabian Sea, and it is usually the southwest monsoon winds come through this area, I mean the Arabian Sea region, and they come to Konkan, then they strike the Western Ghats or the Sahyadris, and then the winds have their upward climb and leading to the rainfall formation processes, giving, and it gives lot of rainfall to Sahyadri. Now, because the moisture has been already shaded in this area of Sahyadri, as the monsoon winds continue their journey over plateau, they have much less moisture in them, and that's the reason why immediately as we cross Sahyadris, then we find to the east of Sahyadri, we find there is a belt that is created of rain shadow region. This map shows the distribution of rainfall, and the darker the shade, more the rainfall. So you can see that Konkan and the Sahyadri receives lot of rainfall. But as you cross the Sahyadri, you find this particular region called as the region of rain shadow or Parjanya Chayacha Pradesh. So this is the region where a very less rainfall is received, mainly because as the southwest monsoon winds cross over Sahyadris, they do not have much moisture to shed. Then in the process, as they travel towards the east, then we find they gain moisture gradually, and then we find there is an increase of rainfall a little bit as we move from the rain shadow region towards the eastern Maharashtra, or let us say Vidarbha. The temperature wise also, we find that the eastern Vidarbha, Nagpur, so this is a very hottest place in the state, where the average annual temperature is around 42.5 degrees in the eastern Maharashtra, while if you see the Sahyadri itself, then we have about 35°C. Konkan has a different climate because of the proximity to the sea, a very moderating influence of the sea. So there is a lot of temperature, but there is also very high humidity because of the closeness to the sea. While as we go on the plateau, we find the plateau area region becomes more drier due to its distance from the sea, and therefore it's very hot and dry kind of conditions that prevail over the plateau. If we see the physical geography of Maharashtra now, we find that along with Sahyadris, that is from Sahyadri itself, we find there are multiple mountain ranges that emerge out of it. So we have Mahadev Dongar to the south, then the central parts are occupied by the Harishchandra Balaghat range. Then as we move to the north, we have the Satmala Ajinta range, and then extremely northernmost areas are covered with the range of Satpuras, including the Medghat hills. While in between these mountain ranges, we find there are wide river basins. So the rivers have, since ages, they have been eroding and weathering these areas and created a massive, plains between these two mountain ranges. So we have, as we see that just to the south of the Mahadev range, we have Krishna and Koyna river basin. Between Harishchandra Balaghat range and Mahadev range, we have the basin of Bhima river, Sina and Bhima as we can call it. Then as we cross Harishchandra Balaghat range, and in between the Satmala Ajinta and Harishchandra Balaghat range, we have the Godavari, Dudhna, Pravara, Mula basin. We know that Godavari is the longest river of the Deccan Plateau. And as we move towards the north, as we cross the Satmala Ajanta range, then we have a basin of Tapi, Purna, Girna. These are the regions which have been under tremendous impact of faulting or the formation of the rift valleys and the block mountains. Satpura is a very much a block mountain. And so we find to the extreme north, we find the Satpura ranges and Medghat. As we come to the east, it is also is a very hilly kind of a topography, and so where you find that the Godavari, Bhima, Krishna, all these rivers are east flowing. Tapi river is west flowing because Tapi meets Arabian Sea, while all these rest of the rivers meets the Bay of Bengal. While we also have south flowing rivers that basically includes rivers like Vardha, Vainganga, Pranahita, and but finally they meet Godavari later, and then they flow eastwards to meet the Bay of Bengal. We also have quite a number of rivers in the Konkan region, but they are very short because they don't get that much of time, because as they originate and fall from Sahyadri and continue to flow, immediately they meet the Arabian Sea. So they do not have much time to erode the landscape. Now, according as a part of the influence of these temperature, climate, and I mean temperature, rainfall, topography, geology, different kind of soils, that is also exhibited in the diversity of the vegetation cover. So where we have tropical wet evergreen forest in the areas where the rainfall is torrential, we also have deciduous forest. Deciduous forests are the forests that shed their leaves. In Marathi we call it as panzadi. So हे पानझडीचे वृक्ष आहेत किंवा deciduous trees आहेत. But this deciduous trees also we have in two broad formations. One is the moist deciduous where there is moderate rainfall, while there is a dry deciduous, especially in the areas where the rainfall is lesser. Then in the rain shadow region, especially of Marathwada, we find the rainwater is too less, and therefore what we have basically is the tropical thorn forest or the thorny plants. While along the coast, we have typical mangroves with coastal tidal kind of vegetation as we know it. So one can see that all these diversity has been extremely reflected in the in the wildlife of Maharashtra also. And if you see this particular map of the wildlife, then it's very crowded with the mention of so many animals of different kinds that can be found regionally in different parts of Maharashtra, depending upon the local conditions. Okay, so there are so many birds and mammals, so we have a very rich wildlife, mainly because of the geographical diversity that this particular state offers. Now, after discussing all these basic geographical features of Maharashtra, let us just have some glimpses of Maharashtra's geography. Okay, so let us just go through some photographs because we are here today to just celebrate the geography of the state. So let us just go through certain slides. To start with Konkan, we know that Konkan is also a very rich area in terms of geography. We have rivers like Vaitarna. We also have dam projects or multi-purpose projects such as Modak Sagar on these rivers. We have very different kind of coastline. I mean, there are certain part of the coast which are very sandy, some are very rocky. Even if you observe the soil, you will find that Maharashtra has black soil beaches, white soil beaches, reddish to brown soil beaches. I mean, I should say reddish to brown sand beaches, or black sand and white sand beaches. This is Dahanu and Bordi beach. Then we have a very important river of Ullas, and followed by, there are many hot springs also in Konkan region. So we have this Varai Sativli hot spring, or the famous one is the Vajreshwari hot springs. We also have in Konkan part of the Western Ghat, part of the Sahyadri, the Kaneri Hills located in the Mumbai region. And this also has it's not just a hill, but it is also is a very dense forest that this particular Konkan region has. It's there are these are it's mainly a kind of a moist deciduous forest, though we do have some evergreen species as well in the Sanjay Gandhi National Park. So there are various sanctuaries and national parks also in this region. Gilbert Hill, located in Mumbai, is one of the prominent feature of Konkan region because it's a monolith, and it is this is the hill that is standing right from the days of when the Deccan volcanism took place and the Sahyadri formed. So this hill belongs to that period. So it's one of the very old geological formation, and that for which the Maharashtra should be very proud of. Obviously, we need to maintain all these structures. Then we have very long beaches like the Juhu beach in Mumbai, but we also have rocky beaches like the Bandra Bandstand, Bandstand, or it's a very rocky coast, as you can see. Then we have Murud Beach. Please note the blackish color of the soil. Then we have Karnala Bird Sanctuary. So we now move into a kind of a deciduous kind of forest, again moist deciduous forest of the Karnala Bird Sanctuary. So this thumbs up symbol is very known to the people staying in this region. Then we have massive expanse of river Savitri. All these are shorter rivers, but they're very important rivers for the region of Konkan. And we have massive coastal landforms spread out everywhere along the coast of Konkan. This is Harihareshwar. One can see a very massive wave cut platform. Also, one can see sea cliff as a result of the marine erosion. So there are many such landforms located. This is just an example. Then we have river Vashishti. People from Konkan know this view that is taken from the Parshuram Ghat. One can see a Vashishti flowing from this ghat, and it's a beautiful scene. There are many places of scenic beauty. As we go further down in Ratnagiri, we also have hot springs again, such as Unavare, and then again different kind of beaches such as Devgad. Okay, so and you can see this particular formation is very unique, where you can see there is a headland which is very rocky, or kind of a hilly land or a hill that is projected into the ocean, and between the two headlands we have this crescent shaped beach. So this headland and bay kind of formation is very common along the coast. Then we have Tarkarli. Please note the white sand and one of the beautiful beaches now in the tourism map of Maharashtra, and the river Terekhol that actually marks the southernmost boundary of Maharashtra. This is the Reddy Beach, again one of the southernmost beaches of Maharashtra. Now, though we normally people believe that Konkan is a plain land, but which is actually not so. Konkan is not a plain land. Rather, it's a very rugged land which is eroded by the very fast flowing streams of rivers, and we have many minor plateaus that these rivers have carved out due to their weathering and all that, and normally we call them in Marathi as sada. So there are many sadas, and these sadas are very popular, very well known, mainly because of their ecological sensitivity, the biodiversity of these places. Very recently we have found so many petroglyphs on this Konkan sada, because of which the Konkan sada is again in the picture. Okay, then we have Sahyadri, a typical trap formation where we can see very clearly the horizontal layering of the lava beds, while in between the two beds there is a formation of soil, and so one can see vegetation. So it's a rock and vegetation. So it's like a during the monsoon we can see a black and green kind of bands along on these traps. And again we have a beautiful forest of the Tamni Ghat, a very dense forest, some evergreen patches in the Amboli Ghat region. And we know that Amboli is a place which is called as the Cherrapunji of Maharashtra, the region that receives torrential rainfall and the wettest place in Maharashtra. There are many tourism spots such as the waterfall of Amboli, which is so famous. This is a perfect picture of what I was talking about, a scarp of Konkan. This is Konkan Kada in the Harishchandra range, and one can see this straight fall. Okay, and this is the kind of a scarp which is a very peculiar feature of the Western Ghat. Kalsubai, which is the highest peak of of the Sahyadris in Maharashtra is also very well. It's a place for trekkers and mountaineers. This is how the Kalsubai looks from air. Looks so beautiful from the air. As we now cross the Sahyadris, cross over the Sahyadris. Okay, so we started our journey from Konkan and then from Sahyadri, and now we are crossing over. Then we immediately find a very massive wide plain, but it's not a perfect plain, rather it's very gently sloping land immediate to the east of the Sahyadri range. And as I was talking earlier, we call it as Mawal region or Mawal province. Okay, and then there are many ranges that jut out of this Sahyadris, such as Mahadev Dongar and Harishchandra and Balaghat range, and further we have Ajinta, and in between there are river basins as I was talking about. The most important one is the Krishna River. This is a picture, Krishna River near Sangli, and it originates in Mahabaleshwar, where we have this Krishna Bai temple, and where the Krishna is worshipped as a deity. Then we have Koina, and we have a massive Koina Dam, Koina Sagar, or the Koina Dam project that we can see over river Koina in the same region. We also have wildlife sanctuaries such as Radhanagari, which is also popular. Then as we cross Mahadev Hills, then we are into some of the very significant places such as Mahabaleshwar, which was I think in 2019 or so was the wettest place in India. Rather, I mean, much more rainfall that year in Mahabaleshwar. We also have massive plateaus in this region. This is the most celebrated plateau of Maharashtra, the Kas Plateau, located near Satara. So there are many such major and minor plateaus in the region. Then we have River Bhima that originates in the region of Bhima, in the place called Bhima Shankar. We also have a little further south, we also have the Maldhok Sanctuary, or the Great Indian Bustard Sanctuary, mainly located in Solapur. Then we have Harishchandragarh, and if we see these ranges, you'll find that the northern part of these ranges are very steep, scarp-like structure, while the southern part are like meeting very gently to the plateau or the Desh region of Maharashtra. So you can see Harishchandragarh in this way from one side, while you can see Harishchandragarh just as a small hill range, as you stand over the plateau. So the same region, but they have a multiple views, as we can call it. Then we enter into Satmala Ajinta range, and then we have in between we have Godavari that originates near Nashik, Trambakeshwar, and it is one of, as I said, it's the longest river of the Deccan Plateau, and again one of the most celebrated river of the Deccan Plateau. Here also we have projects like Jayakwadi Dam, which is a massive multi-purpose project that has created Nath Sagar, the very well-known reservoir created by the Jayakwadi Dam. Then we have Satmala ranges, Saptashrungi Hills, which is a very predominant crest line of the Sahyadris that can be seen, and it's a very unique feature geomorphologically. And then we have, as we cross it further, then we have the Tapi River basin, the west flowing river, as you can see here, okay, where the river Girna meets Tapi. Purna comes also a bit earlier, and then we find that the Tapi moves further. So this is the photo image of river Tapi, river Girna, then river Purna. So you can see there are so many rivers, and every river looks so different from each other. This is Toranmal, the Satpura Plateau. So this is the extreme north of Maharashtra. So where we have the Satpura range, the Astamba Hills or the Astamba Dongar is very famous and very close to the northern border of the state. This is in the Khandesh region. Then we have, as we proceed further eastwards, then we have this famous Ajanta range, which is very well known for the Ajanta caves, which are very and there are so many Buddhist caves in this entire region of I mean all over Sahyadris, at the same time in these ranges. Ajanta is the most celebrated one. As we move further, then we have the Medghat region here, which is an extension of the part of the Satpuras. So this is Medghat range. Then we have hill stations like Chikhaldara, very popular spots. Then we have a massive landform called as Lonar Lake in Buldhana. This is a meteoric lake created because of the impact of the meteor. And so this Lonar Lake is also a very unique formation. Very recently, Lonar Lake was in picture because of its changing color of water on which the work is going on. In the Nagpur or the Vidarbha region, we do not have a very big range, but it's an entire hilly region. And the Ramtek Hills of Nagpur is a very representative of this kind of a topography. There are many rivers in this region also. So we have river Painganga that flows near Yavatmal. So as you can see, river Painganga comes from here. Vardha river comes, and Vainganga river also comes. So these are important rivers of this particular region of eastern Maharashtra. This is river Painganga near Yavatmal. We have Tipeshwar Wildlife Sanctuary, which is also very well known and a very important tourist spot of the region. Then we have river Vardha or river Vainganga. This is Vainganga near Bhandara. Then we have very prominent sanctuaries such as Nagjira Wildlife Sanctuary in Bhandara or Navegaon National Park in Gondia. Okay, and then we have river Pranahita, and as we go further east, we have very sluggishly flowing rivers, but they become very let me say very violent at the time of torrential rainfall. River Hemalkasa. Then we have the Bhamragad region, which is to the extreme east, very close to the eastern borders of Maharashtra. So there are so much of geographical diversity that we have seen. Let us end ourselves by just mentioning about the state symbols of Maharashtra. So we have the mango tree, which is a state tree of our state. Then we have Indian giant squirrel, which is our state animal. Then the yellow-footed green pigeon looks so beautiful, which is our state bird. And this beautiful butterfly, blue mormon, is our state butterfly. Okay, and finally we have flowers, jarul flowers, which are also so many, which is also the state flowers of our state. So all these geographical diversity is so beautiful that you really fall in love with this particular with this state of Maharashtra. And there are so many songs that exhibit it. So it's not just the Maharashtra Geet, but it can be Garza Maharashtra Maza of Raja Bade, written by him, or Shripad Krishna Kollatkar's Bahu Asota Sundara Sampanna Ki Maha. If you read all this, then you will find that it's so much full of human and physical geography of the state. Thanks a lot. पुन्हा एकदा सगळ्यांना महाराष्ट्र दिनाच्या खूप खूप शुभेच्छा आणि सगळ्यांना माझे मनापासून धन्यवाद. नमस्कार.